See it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Russell now.
You listen to Russell Brand.
Take 3936.
What is all this? What are these other things?
At Radio X.
For God's sake. This is Russell Brand on Radio X. It's Noel's mic up. Noel, hello, mate. Thanks for coming to join us. You look very handsome. That's a lovely jacket. It's a lovely haircut. Are we on Facebook Live? Let's put us on Facebook Live. There's Noel Gallagher here. Check us out now on Facebook Live. We'll be up there in a matter of seconds. You all right, mate?
I'm good, how are you?
Feel pretty positive so far. I think it's going quite well on the show.
How many is this now?
This is number 4.
Number 4.
Sack will be coming soon then, won't it?
I would say within 6. Sacked within 6 is probably...
Tonight there's this scandal, isn't there?
We had a little mini moment around... get on, Mike, you goddamn rock star. We had a little moment around week 2, but I think we rode it out, didn't we, basically?
Yeah.
Week 3, a pre-record, talking about things like, Noel, you'll be very interested in this. Matt Morgan announced to the nation, or those of the nation that were listening...
It's not one of those things we talked about, was it?
Vasectomy.
Oh, no.
Have you?
Yeah, no, not yet.
Oh,
this is...
I might have one.
What do you mean? You mean you might have had one, but you don't know?
No one would know.
It's a blackout for 24 hours.
I woke up and see my missus leaving the room with a pair of scissors.
Just gas comes out now.
We've thrown it to the listeners if I should have one or not. You've not had one, have you?
I don't think so.
As far as we know, there's still fertile sperm leaving Noel Gallagher's body.
So, yeah. I think so.
Would you have one?
Why would I have a vasectomy? What's the point?
Yeah, what is the point?
So that if your wife doesn't want to have to go on birth control, or she doesn't definitely want to have another baby, then you do it.
Oh, I suppose if I sat down and talked about it with one of my wives, I suppose we'd come to some kind of conclusion.
Well, the Matt Morgan Appreciation Society have been in touch through one of their leaders. They're a collective. They're a syndicated collective that believe that power should be decentralised and devolved.
I'm picturing people who look like Morris dancers.
Well, James Declan Conroy is a very handsome young man. He says, I'm an emissary from the Matt Morgan Appreciation Society. That's right, that's how he titles himself. Bringing you our views on the old Dinkle snip. Mr. G predicted last week that Matt's fans would create a petition to save Matt's pipes. While we did indeed have a vote, the results were not quite as G foresaw. Now, you can have a look at this. We should tweet this image, Jenny. Let's tweet this image of James Declan Conroy. Listen, right, should Matt get his giblet snipped? First... Yes, but first of all, freeze some genetic content. Have a look at us now on Facebook Live to prove that Noel is in here and it's not Matt doing one of his impeccable impressions.
I bet that's expensive, saving sperm. I bet you have to pay rent on it. I think you do, in fact.
No. I've several ice cube trays in my own fridge, a variety of potential donors. You never know. Some people say, yes is one of the options. Other people suggest another portal or destination for your spermatoza. Russell should draw faces on his testicles before he goes into the operation. And then someone's put, this is weird, James. You're polling people on Matt's genitals. Wouldn't be the first time. Yes, but they should be bitten clean off by an Alsatian, someone says here.
Come on.
So, as you can see, the results are they're overwhelmingly in favour of yes, but some people want you to freeze some of your sperm for future generations. The debate rages on.
I don't think you should have any more kids.
No, I don't want any more kids.
Why? A couple more. I love the ones you've got.
Have you met the other two?
I have actually. I was playing with Cohen the other day. He's a superhero. I've trained him in the ways of superhero and self-absorption. In about 4 hours, he was zooped up into an incredible state.
Now, after a day with you.
Lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's hilarious. I told him that every time he touched we were on a rural walk, I told him every time he touched a white arrow, which were on trees and stuff like that, to direct the rural walk, that he would get more superpowers. By the end of it, he was rampaging through fields.
He threw his own arrows with chalk on the floor and touched
them. Like you're grooming him.
Oh, for God's sake, no. You've been in here 5 minutes and the word grooming's been bandied about around young Matt's son. But with minutes in, he grasped the concept of the game, drew his own white arrow with chalk and took the power to a ridiculous level, which leads me to this idea. Should Kim Jong-un forbid North Koreans from copying his hair? Because this is what happens when you have a person in a position of demagogic power. They won't even let people copy their whole hair. Kim Jong-un has forbidden citizens in the Hermit Kingdom. It's not a kingdom of hermits. Hermits wouldn't collude anyway. If it was They'd all just be down. Do they call it a hermit kingdom?
Because it keeps itself to itself. No one's allowed in there.
Keep away from me! You keep away from me and my haircut! Hermit kingdom from having the same haircut as him, it's been claimed. A list of allegedly state-mandated styles was snapped by a journalist inside the heavily controlled state. They're really going for North Korea in this article. But despite many styles sporting shaved sides, because a lot of young lads now have a haircut very similar to Kim Jong-un. I don't think the problem is
About
the
the
haircut.
party.
It's more he's not a slender man, is he, Kim? So it's like he's got chubby cheeks, you see. Johnny Depp's hair's now not dissimilar from Kim Jong-un's hair.
But I think this isn't true because there's a sort of thing that I've seen the poster and it's like 15 hairstyles that are recommended by the state.
Right,
and his isn't there. But that doesn't mean he's banned people from having the same hair as him.
He's just encouraging them to branch out, get their own haircuts.
I think the way they word it is, we encourage you to
Right.
daren't have not have one of these hairstyles.
Yeah. So maybe, I suppose.
Encouraging, we should be in inverted commas, I think.
Right, because they might impose it. I mean, they've got a lot on their plate to be worrying about hairstyles. We're on the precipice of a nuclear war, as I understand it.
No way.
Oh, yeah, no, it's quite likely. Oh, no, any day now. We're expecting news on that. We've asked China many times in the past to get out of Tibet. Now we're going to have to say Korea and North and South, unify. Once and for all, stop this silly madness.
Kim Jong-il or Un. Which one is he now?
It's Un.
Un, right? Because what about that movie they did? Sony did that movie with James Franco.
James Franco and Seth Rogen.
And it
Wound
got
him up.
hacked, released before the time, ruined it. And then all that Sony hack where people lost their jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's old.
Kim Jong-un.
Oh no, I've just accused him. Oh God!
You'll be next in line, and look at your haircut. Terrifyingly close.
He'll give you a vasectomy and you won't even know about it.
Pretty well, yeah.
The Finnish report says, North Korean men can have 15 different approved hairstyles. You're right. You can forget about dyeing your hair. That's not allowed. 2 years ago, it was claimed the dictator was forcing his subjects to imitate his shaved side style. I think if you are a dictator, you don't want people emulating your hairstyle, do you? You want a little bit of sovereign distance.
Yeah, because none of Hitler's little henchmen had that same tash.
No one. No one else.
There was a couple.
Was there?
There was a couple.
What, a couple of... What? Himmler?
He had him bumped off early, though, didn't he?
What, for having the same moustache as him?
Well, no, maybe not. That wasn't the specific
Well, as
reason.
Noel and Matt talk about Hitler's moustache in 2017,
Between the lines.
I am left with the duty of telling you that the Queens of the Stone Age have got a song to sing you. This is them doing it now. Queens of the Stone Age. Listen to Russell Brand on Radio X, and as we're a professional radio show, we do things like competitions, don't we? Also, we endorse and support Pippa, who is even now sprinting around the London streets on behalf of Global's endorsed charity Make Some Noise. If you want to support Pippa and give her £3, she's off of Chris Moyles' show, mate. I'm talking to Noel Gallagher, who joins us, as well as Mr. G. She's doing a marathon, mate. It's a bloody marathon out there.
Oh, you know, has she got any chance of winning?
People are really backing her. I think she's got a real chance.
Any chance of winning?
She's not going to win.
Stop talking about it, then.
70766, £3 for Pippa. So it's never such a good cause. Now, Matt and Noel,
I ran the marathon at the weekend.
if you want to,
Shut up, then.
riotous fellow.
You'll only speak to the person that won.
If they'll speak to me, I'll speak to them. But
I would
if
imagine
you
they'll
just
be
take
rather
them
busy.
Part, what's the point?
Okay.
Get on the track.
As well, I turned us all down. Don't worry about swearing at this time of life. Do you know what? I don't apologise. I endorse it. I'll say it again. Text. You can tweet us at Radio X, or you can text us 83936. Yeah, send us some text on 83936. Now, this is the competition that we're actually running to win tickets to see my Rebirth tour. Go to russellbrand.com to see which date you want to come to. Now, I'm going to turn these three goons back up. Here we go. So you've designed a competition. Now,
Well, no, I haven't designed the competition.
you have. It's
I've
based
been-
around your morning nutrition.
I've been pressed into.
Right, so the question is,
Yeah.
what did Noel have for breakfast?
What did Noel have for breakfast?
Did he have
Option A.
a bacon bagel? Or, no, don't say A or B. The answer is, so text bacon bagel or blueberries and yoghurt.
Which one was it? A bacon bagel or blueberries and yogurt? Bacon bagel is kind of like a kosher paradox. Bagel, traditional food of the Jewish people. Bacon, of course, not a kosher food. Did he have a paradoxical bacon bagel, or did he have blueberries and yogurt? Text us 83936 to win tickets to see me on the Rebirth tour. Oh yeah, and you've got to text the word Rebirth. You've got to text the word Rebirth and the words bacon bagel and the words blueberries and yogurt. It's a very complicated competition, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
No wonder we have to have a general election every 15 minutes. It's a baffling nation to live in.
Right, let's have some professionalism.
Go on then.
Dear Russell, this is from Jenny in Canada.
Hello, Jenny.
I have a question for you concerning yoga and Sting's wife.
Go on.
You didn't even flinch. I don't know if you
Trudy
remember.
Styler.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but years ago you were co-presenting the Regis and Kelly show in America, and there was a bit when Sting's wife Trudy came on to demonstrate some basic yoga poses.
I remember it well.
You and Kelly were supposed to participate. That's my emphasis.
Yeah, why are you emphasising that?
Oh, give it some drama. Kelly had changed into her yoga gear and you were still in your suit. You refused to join in.
Suit.
Never giving a reason why. Just awkwardly skirting around it. Commenting you would rather watch while being told off by Trudy. I've always wondered, was there some profound reason you didn't want to go along with it? Like you found yoga personal and spiritual, or were you just worried about making a wally of yourself doing downward dog on telly? What was going on?
I remember that. I was on TV in New York. Trudy Styler came in. She was demonstrating yoga. She was trying to drag me into it. And I do remember thinking, doing yoga on the telly? Not until I've got a DVD deal, you bloody well don't. So I sort of stood well back. But also I remember thinking, should you be doing this yoga on the telly? And then I thought, no. And Trudy Styler, she's
Why?
a tenacious
You
woman.
didn't want to look silly?
I don't think you're meant to do the yoga on the telly like that. I didn't think it
well,
at
you
that
could
time.
spread the message of yoga
That's
to
a
people who
good
don't
point.
know about it.
You're right, but at that time I was feeling a lot more fundamentalist. You've got to remember, Matt, I was living in America, I was getting very, very eccentric. Remember I was going around with that lady in a white turban, I was running a yoga cult, I was banging a
You're
gong.
running a yoga cult, so you can't do yoga on telly.
Well, you've got to be very
You're the
careful.
perfect guy.
Mate, you don't know the pressures of running a cult. It's enormously tense, especially for the cult. The cult leader is a man who's under a great... Why are you shaking your head, Noel?
Guys just holding up random words. Like it used to be.
He has to be puppeteered now with a whiteboard that says adverts.
Well, that's because this is Radio X has got a... It's,
What it'll be like when he eventually gets put in a mental asylum.
Dinner, just a sign.
Go to the
Cell
toilet.
door.
Toilet.
I'm off now to the lavatory.
Too late.
Quiet. This is an advert.
X.
For heaven's sake, here we are. There may have been some swearing there.
No.
Did you hear that?
No.
Nobody heard it?
I don't think
We
so.
will
If you
deny
heard
it.
some swearing, then, apologise for that. Now, we've got all sorts of tweets here. Dan in Great Yarmouth. Ask Nolly about when we can expect his new album and can he give us a song title? When's your new album? Give us a song title.
Okay, which one do you want?
Both.
Album.
I believe it's slated for a November release.
Got any song titles?
Loads.
Go on then. Just one. That's all. This is all Dan in Great Yarmouth
Well,
wants.
in
Is
front of him.
just
my,
one.
My big dicky though.
Kiss me, you fool. I didn't mean to do that. But I strained and something came out.
Hoo-ha.
My Big Dicky Boy. That's brilliant. It's over the name of the album. Song titles. There's one just called Instrumental Number 3.
Ooh, look at that. He's on a
Teaser.
voyage, isn't he? A voyage of discovery. What have you been doing? So you went to New York to meet Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, my wife, the lovely Sarah, best wife in the world.
Lovely wife.
Patient,
Officially.
tolerant, kind lady.
All of those things.
Myopic,
She
short-sighted.
said to me last week that we were going away on a surprise trip. And I don't like surprises.
No.
And the surprise was going to New York, and I thought that was the surprise trip was going to New
Stay
York.
on mic.
And then we got there, and she'd got me tickets to see Jerry Seinfeld at the Beacon Theatre, who I've never seen, and I'm kind
Amazing.
of a huge fan. And then not only that, she had wangled it with his wife that we got to hang out with him, meet him.
How
And
was that?
It was brilliant at being in the presence of an actual brilliant comedian for
I
once.
knew that what would happen is cruelty, that we would edge towards
Me and Sarah
cruelty.
both said that on the way out. We said, aren't real comedians, aren't they actually funny?
Beastly mad.
Hey,
Hurtful comment. I know Jerry Seinfeld, and I've...
well, he didn't mention you.
No, well, we keep our friendship
Didn't mention you
quite...
at all.
It's based a lot around...
I wasn't going to mention you, clearly, you know.
No,
just in
you
case.
keep that quiet, don't you?
Never said anything. You probably won't.
Well, what do you think he's going to do? Burst into the room, announce our association, and what else did you do? Also, you went to Venice and saw Damien Hirst's
I went to
art
Damien
show.
Hirst.
What was that like?
It was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should...
Was it called Treasures from the Unbelievable?
Treasures from the Shipwreck of the Unbelievable.
I went to that Damien Hirst's art gallery, his studio, his workshop, which was like this unbelievable Willy Wonka world of leather, sort of great giant place.
Oh, that massive house.
Yeah, somewhere in, like, he had a bit of a house. He had a house made out of gravestones. He had, like, I mean, he was making art 10 at a dozen. It was,
He's an artist.
he couldn't stop the man. He couldn't get in his way for a second. I got a bit of paint splashed on my shoes. He went, they're worth a fortune now. I thought, oh my God, look at that. I've still got them. Converse. And there was things like, you know, like sort of he uses the sort of font and colouring of like ambulances, like the luminous ambulance stuff, like, you know, those stripes they put around them and stuff. And that were like, after I'd been there, absorbed in his world, I left and I saw a kebab van at the side of the road. And when I saw that kebab van, I was like, God, it's beautiful, man. It was like it changed my perception of being in that environment. And I suppose that's the function of art. And he said he said two things were amazing. One, he said, like, he goes, you could walk past a tree every day and you'll never notice it, but if that tree falls down and is horizontal, suddenly that tree will become immeasurably important to you, and all that's happened is its context has altered. So like, and so much of his work is about changing context. I thought, yeah, like, he sees things like, sort of, I suppose art in a sense is about having a broad perspective that he's able to pull out and zoom back in and highlight meaning. He can change meaning. And even
What
when
is
people
he talking about now?
I'm talking about, like, for example, that shark, right? You're used to seeing that shark in a certain context.
You've never seen a shark in its actual context.
Well, you say that, mate, but once when I was in Hawaii, I went down in a cage with Ed Norton into shark-infested waters. Ed Norton clambered outside the cage. Of course he did, to eyeball the shark, whereas I stayed very safely within it.
On a CB.
Yeah. On the
CB radio.
That shark stared at me with beady eyes that stared at me through time, prehistoric eyes, very much like your eyes now, actually, like staring into the distant past. So, like, to see a shark in a gallery. What I'm saying is that Damon Hirst is a genius. For all we, actually, this was a much smaller shark, but it was horrible to see it because it was the way it was not nice to be looked at by something as if it's going to eat you. And that's how I felt when dear old Katie Hopkins strolled into our studio last week. A prehistoric creature, a terrifying moment for us all. Let's see if there's any other. Hold on a minute. Yeah, watch us live if you want to on Facebook. Are we on Facebook Live? Even though I'm hunched up like this, I don't want people to see me with this with this kind of posture. Ask Noel what he thinks about Liam going solo. I'm not going to trouble him with that. What do you want me to do, Gal? Oh, have a look at these ones. Radio X, go for it, Matt. This is from Amelia Marie. More men should be taking responsibility for contraception in 2017. Sounds like it's just an epidemic. Amelia, how many people are you sleeping with, love? Ross, Matt's the true revolutionary for having his pipe snipped. So people are really behind you. It sounds like, Matt, people want you to be infertile.
I've
I've
bred.
I've had them and then had to get them reversed.
But why did they have to get them reversed? Because they wanted to then breed
They
again.
wanted more children.
Don't you remember when we were in Hartlepool, we walked past a clinic and it said, like, vasectomy clinic and vasectomy reversal clinic. It was the same place. It was like you go in there and snip the
Revolving
pipe.
door. You go, oh no, sorry.
Never again, no more. Oh no, I'm so lonely.
No, tie woman.
I want a baby. Hartlepool, my God.
No, is Katie demanding? Demanding? Is
Well,
she
look,
demanding it
it's either, I think, right, after a woman's had 2 babies and all the massive trauma to the body of that, right?
Ooh, sounds like
Otherwise, you have to go on the pill, which messes with your hormones, or you have to do
Should I put these on?
other things. No one's listening to me
I
apart
am
from the
listening to you.
nation.
I'm listening to you.
But anyway,
Just
it's look,
very gently
it's
listen to
probably
the
worth doing.
article.
And if, you know.
Monkeys there. No, we're tantalisingly close to closing this competition. In fact, let's just close it now because we've got the news coming up. We don't want a competition lingering, loitering over the news. Not in these troubled times where we have to be very, very circumspect about what we mention on air. Noel, I must say you've been a trickster presence in the studio. We've had more chaos in this one show than in all the preceding four going together. Although the competition, like we've got people, some people think it's blueberries that Noel had for breakfast. Some think it's a bacon bagel. The competition has set the text lines, if you can envisage such a thing, alight. So in some sense, you're providing a great deal of content.
Thank you very much.
In another way, you're a great, great danger. Now, we've got something, me and Matt were going to ask you about something. It's actually Matt's idea, and this email nudges the notion along a little further. This is from someone called Laura, Russell, Matt, G, Noel. I'm elated by all the talk of tattoos on your previous show. I'm a tattoo artist and the official tattooist of the Matt Morgan Appreciation Society. I've got my own tattoo of a pin to remind me of you boys and keeps me smiling throughout the day. That's a reference to the pin story that kept us on radio for many, many years for the BBC at the expense of the licence payer.
Somebody shouted that to me once at an award ceremony. Remember I told you that?
You were at an award ceremony and someone shouted pin. This
Yeah.
is a reference to Matt getting stabbed by a boy called Darren French when he was a child.
I remember I told you
By
it
a
was
pin.
I can't remember. It was on a red carpet. Somebody shouted, pin!
On a red carpet. So extraordinarily
Should
disruptive
have
to hear
pinned you
that.
as well.
Yeah.
That's
One
the complete...
time I was doing a play and it was to do with like the refugee crisis.
Oh,
And
God.
one of your Matt Morgan fans came to the play and at the end just came up to me and just went pin and just walked away.
I remember
Very
something.
calmly, a play about a
That time I told
refugee
you I was
crisis.
doing a gig in, right in the Midwest of America, and so my girl was holding up a sign in the crowd that said pin.
Wow, this is a cult.
Yeah.
Do you see? So encourage
cult.
pin. So the winners of the competition, who correctly answered the what Noel had for breakfast was blueberries and yoghurt, are Adam and Steph.
Let me just explain.
Why would you have blueberries? Adam and Steph, well done. You
Sleeping.
can choose what gig you want to come to. Look at russellbrand.com for ticket details.
And I couldn't be bothered boiling the gruel that I usually have.
Normally it's you settle down for some gruel to you.
Gruel and a pint of Guinness. Is what
Feed your
happens at,
kestrel a little bit of bacon rind.
Right, yeah.
Have a quick fist fight out in the yard.
With Sarah, yeah.
Blueberries and yoghurt. Why not indeed?
It's yogurt.
Oh, it's a shame. We're going to have a commercial break due to the
Sorry if
nature.
anybody's offended by that. I will
be
have some
offended.
meat later, I promise.
You mustn't be offended. Try not to be offended. Okay, but this person wants to ask about tattoos. When we come back after this break, we'll talk about our plan that Matt conceived to get Noel Gallagher's body permanently inked at a Judas Priest. Great Noel Gallagher there and the high-flying birds. I think you get the idea by then.
You actually forget how great that song is, don't you?
I'd forgotten, yes. I'd put it right out in my mind.
Now you've been reminded.
We've had some tweets here, the brandy strippers. What would Matt like the MMAs to get tattooed on their bodies as a sign of our devotion? Oh, the Matt Morgan Appreciation Society. They're requesting that you tell them what to get tattooed on their body. And the reason this is because Matt wants us all to go to a Judas Priest-inspired tattoo event
Got a gig.
and get our bodies tattooed.
It's down to you, Noel.
Why?
Why do you, I was
Teenage Cancer
up for
Trust,
it.
which
How is
you're-
it for Teenage Cancer
Oh,
Trust?
no.
I'm not sure they're involved
Don't call
somehow.
that.
Noel, have you got any tattoos?
No.
Would you get one?
I'm gonna say no. I find them pointless.
Ooh, scared of the pain then?
There's a
Mr.
little bit of
Blueberries
that,
and
I
yoghurt?
I don't
He'd
know
sooner
what.
sit with his
I don't-
little
have you got any
feet up
tattoos?
on his ottoman.
Tattoos?
Yeah, what? Yeah, I mean,
Bits and
really,
pieces.
what do they all mean though? It's nonsense.
I like them.
But what was your concept? You wanted us to go to this
Oh,
Judas Priest event.
he's got some of the most pointless tattoos. Like the one on the
What?
finger is.
What? The old snake dragging a handbag? One of the great tattoos of our time. That's on the thing. If you're looking at Facebook Live now, you can see this tattoo. The Kundalini snake there, making its way up my wrist.
What does that mean again?
It's the fire in your belly. Make that primal energy divine. That's the only way we'll change the world. If you can make your primal energy.
What's
Why
this
on your
one?
finger?
That's the one I use to clean the pipes.
This one down here.
That one's Lord, make me a channel of thy peace. Oh, you've
That's
got
a
to
good
work for the
sentiment.
Lord. It's a lovely sentiment. That's what I like to see Radio X very much as a channel of the peace. When Noel's not on here, leaving mics up, cursing, effing and blinding like a madman. And the other one, a quote from Oscar Wilde: "If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh. Otherwise, they will kill you." And I think we all saw the evidence of straying off the comedic path about 18 months ago.
But
Now,
but that wasn't funny though, was it?
that's the problem. That was the problem. That was part of the problem.
It was
So-
boring.
So anyway, this Judas Priest thing, right?
Yeah,
My
you want
dream
the
was
dream.
that us three went there together. But you're doing a gig. He won't get tattoos because he's scared of them,
Right.
and it's probably all fallen
So
apart.
your dreams falling apart.
Why were we going to go together?
Because you're a big Judas
Are you-
Priest fan.
Are you going to get a tattoo?
I probably will, yeah.
But you are a Judas Priest fan, though, right?
I'm not actually, but I do. They're all right.
So why are we going to a Judas
Because
Priest
it's my
convention?
friends organising it, and it's part of the Teenage Cancer Trust.
And they've got a tattoo parlour there at the
It's
gigs.
at a tattoo.
There's
yeah.
a lot of complex ideas intersecting because it's Judas Priest, it's Teenage Cancer Trust, it's get a tattoo. Like all those three things.
Oh.
Go and get
What
a
are the-
tattoo for the Judas Priest Teenage Cancer Trust. It's more complicated than one of our bloody competitions. Noel, says a young woman in Havana, Cuba, what one of your songs should I cover for my college assessment here in the capital of
You
Cuba?
want money for it.
Oh, not from communist Havana.
Don't look back
Bill
in
Wavers.
anger. Dedicate it to Fidel Castro, I guess.
All right, look at that. There you go. That's some genuine information and content. Georgia says, what's going to happen to Matt's little swimmers once he has the snip? Do they bang their heads against a wall when they die? Ian Short actually wants to know.
I
that.
actually haven't looked into that, but I think they just they can't get out of the place that they're housed.
They're just hanging around in
trapped
there.
in a little
decaying.
jar.
They have little generations. They born and die in there. I think
I think that's what I find worrying about it, Matthew, is the idea of them.
unnatural.
It's an unnatural thing to do it, but like I will support you. Now that the more I get to know your wife, the more I understand her unwillingness to keep having your children. That woman is an absolute bloody saint. Should we do a light-hearted news story?
Can we do this thing about pigeon?
Yeah, I mean, I've been wondering about this for a while. A woman became a web sensation after having been filmed in the street giving CPR, that's like a survival technique to get the heart going, to a dying pigeon. She's hit back to defend her bid to rescue the bird. Leah Lachmani, 34, of Glasgow, went viral after she was filmed by a passerby on Tuesday, giving the limp pigeon mouth to mouth and pressing down on its chest. Ah.
What?
It's had 40,000 retweets. It's been favourited. Lehar is slammed. You can have a look at it now.
People have attacked her for doing this.
Yeah. She says it was a good deed. I don't
Trying
know.
to blow it up is what she's trying to do.
Lehar moved to Glasgow from India 17 years ago, claimed the bird was not dead at the time, as his eyes were still flickering when she spotted it lying in the street. She told the Scottish Sun, I was going for lunch when I saw the pigeon lying in the middle of the road. I went to see if it was dead or alive, but I could see it was still flickering its eyes, so I wanted to see if I could bring it back. What a delightful woman.
Yeah, but what she says is,
It's very suspicious, this
I
story.
wanted to see if I could bring it back. Unfortunately, I could not, so I just put it aside and walked away. I didn't know I was being filmed.
Oh, I think the idea that life is so sacred to you that you're prepared to thumb a little pigeon in the chest
I mean,
to
you'd
keep
have to
it
do
on
the
side.
chest compressions so delicately, and the mouth to beak thing. How does that work?
It's a challenge because you've got to do that staying alive. Now,
For
if
a
you
pigeon, that's got to be a lot faster.
their heartbeat's going to be different. Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah,
I'm a fire starter.
Starts a twisted fire starter. Stay alive, for God's sake! You'd be rattling away at that pigeon's chest. But in a way, she should be encouraged, shouldn't she, for
Well,
regarding
she tried to
life so
save
sacred?
an animal from dying, and then all that people had to go of her. Look, people were saying she might get a disease, and they were even making comments of a sexual nature.
Well, like she was trying to get off on kissing that pigeon and caressing its chest.
It's just like it was James Bond and kissing him.
Twirling its feathers around her finger.
So, what time do you get off?
Oh, you look so vulnerable, just laying there. Oh, let's have a look at your wingspan. Oh, let's have a whiff of them armpits. I wouldn't like to smell the underneath of a pigeon's wing. No good happens under there.
Quite shiny and clean sometimes, pigeons, and you wonder, how do they get clean?
Rats, though, aren't they? The
Rats
rats
with
of the
wings,
sky.
they say.
They do say that about the pigeon community, but I've always been a fan of them. Gee, you're over there scrambling down lyrical wisdom to summarise the show, but I'm keen to know why it is you've taken it upon yourself to direct a show starring the elderly.
Yeah.
Why aren't you making a play with the elderly? While you, Noel, are doing whatever it is that you pass your time doing between bites of blueberry and yoghurt, and while you, Matt, contemplate snipping your own sperm supply, G is directing the elderly in a play. What do you mean? What's going on? How? Why?
We're putting on an event on May the 16th at the Albany Theatre in Deptford, and
Christ.
they put on a thing called Meet Me at the Albany, where they bring in all these people from old people's homes to just come in and sit down and interact with artists and stuff like that. So I run a group called Chill Pill, and we're working with a theatrical group of pensioners, and we're putting together an event called
Theatrical group of
I'm so old. I've seen it won't be long before I'm in the grave. I've seen the future. I've seen. Where's my false teeth? If I live to be stealing my money, pensioner, I'm going to join a theatrical group because it's one dude and about, I don't know, 7 or 8 women, and they love him.
Yeah, but they're the elderly. I mean, he's not thinking, well, get my hands on these elderly ducks.
He gets sandwiches,
Old people get down.
Do they? Do the elderly?
They do.
They get down.
No? Is that true? Are you still at it?
Not for me to say, is it?
That's why he's having such light breakfasts, I bet. Not just for the semi-final in Man City, because he keeps himself alive and fit as a fiddle.
I'm not old, though.
No, you're not, actually. You're a handsome, beautiful man.
Looks slick today.
I think you're improving with age.
say.
You're gorgeous. I love you more than I've ever loved you.
What can I say?
Good. Nothing, just bask in the glory of this
The interesting thing is
appreciation.
when you are talking to the elderly and you're not. Why are you wanking?
Don't say that on the air!
Sorry, I can't say that.
And I wasn't!
It's you.
Well, my work here is done. I shall see you all next week. Goodbye.
I will apologise for that.
But that's probably been cut.
I hope we're on the Facebook. I hope we're on Facebook Live so people can see that I wasn't actually
He
doing
said a
anything
naughty
of the
word,
sort.
Okay, I apologise.
There was a jump there.
Yeah, it's just.
How long is the today?
What?
How long, though, in seconds as a number?
Is it? Oh, phew.
Oh, that's all you got.
Oh, we've got nothing to worry about then. Well, now we
The
know.
interesting thing is when you do talk to the elderly,
Yeah.
and you get, they take you into their confidence. They start telling you stories of their heydays because obviously they're going to talk about the times when they were young and virile and
When they were rampaging
type of
across
stuff and
France
rampaging.
with a musket.
Yeah? And
Hold on a sec.
and these
Battling
guys
the
were
Nazis.
they were young in the 60s.
They're young in the 60s now. They're not rampaging through Dunkirk with muskets.
That's our vision of
Too
an
many
old person.
historical
It's the Second
periods.
World War, but that's
'Cause we're old
they've
now.
got old now.
Yeah.
Tell us, these people in the
Dying.
60s, what were they like? Where are they from, these old people?
Well, they're all basically
South
around
London
the Deptford
elderly.
area. Yeah, around the
Yeah.
Deptford area. But it's
So what they're saying in the 60s, they were bang at it.
yeah, well, because this is after the pill, before AIDS.
Oh, it was a glory era.
The way you said that. After the
I'm jealous.
Before AIDS.
I'm jealous. listening
Nothing
their
to worry about.
stories.
Can't get anyone pregnant. Not going to get HIV. Oh, let's go to a break.
Radio.
Yes, you are listening to Russell Brand on Radio X with me, of course, Matt Morgan, Mr. G, and Noel Gallagher. We've had a fantastic competition. We've supported Pippa as she runs the marathon. We've talked about news all around the world, and we've received some wonderful tweets from you guys, and we've even taken time to commentate on that delightful Scottish lady giving
Just watched the
CPR.
video.
Well, what did you think of the video?
It's pretty.
Giving
Yeah,
CPR
it looks.
to a pigeon.
There's a comical element to it, but she blows in its mouth and then she like presses its chest, and then there's a moment where you can think that she looks like she's thinking, oh, actually, it's
This is working.
and then its head just sort of flops at a very awkward angle. It's clear that it's dead.
The lolling of the head is one of the most painful moments in the video. I didn't get to finish this thing about a tattoo because we got sidetracked because of the
Come on.
complexity of your ambition to get us to go to that Judas Priest thing. Well, this lady, Laura, who is in the Matt Morgan Appreciation Society, says she would happily come here to the studio. She says she's on Instagram at IDP Tattoo, where we can see pictures of her work. She'll happily come here and tattoo us all whenever you want. So, Matt, your dream of being tattooed and all of us being bonded by a solitary tattoo, like perhaps, I don't know, a simple band around the finger, I don't know what you want, that can still live on. You needn't relinquish that dream, is all I'm saying.
You'd have to check what her work's like. You don't want to be getting some.
Well, we can. Have a look on
substandard
Instagram right
Yeah,
now.
well,
I bet
no, we'll
she's
have a look.
a gifted tattooist.
I think Noel should have one for charity.
Why won't you have a tattoo for charity? You just don't fancy
on your
you're not
big
that sort of
toe.
person.
Do you know what? When I see,
He's
I
gonna
just think they look
critis-
ugly.
Right. You are, I suppose as well, you're very much like a mod, aren't you? You're very well groomed. You've got that lovely
I've not
jacket
got
on.
no piercings.
He
Yeah.
has. He's got one.
Yes, he has.
A bit jingling when he dances.
I think they look ugly. My missus has got one on her back.
That's she.
Yeah, she's got
Get
one
off me.
on her
Leave me alone. We're not that married.
on her lower back. Yeah.
Go back on tour.
Please, just give me some peace. The blueberries are in the bottom drawer of the fridge. It's like the Magna Carta, that back tattoo, trying to anticipate every possible outcome. Listen to this. Now, oh, I see. Perhaps Mr. G can give Noel a role in this. Oh, that's a mean... Reagan Ward. Reagan, why would you say that about Noel? Now, I suppose what I'd like to do immediately, without further ado, is cover... just says give Noel a part in G's Play for the Elderly. But remember when we spoke about that,
We've already got John Hegley.
Oh, there you go. It's perfectly cast. Absolutely. A man takes revenge on noisy neighbours. A Chinese resident surnamed Zhao is having problems with his noisy neighbours. So he's bought a building shaker to give him a taste of his own medicine. Powered by a motor, the machine is designed to continually thump against the walls. At 8 p.m. last Friday, Zhao switched the machine on and left his flat for the weekend. With the constant thumping on the floor driving them insane, the neighbours went to the property management office but found there was nothing they could do to help them. The family contacted the police, who were unable to track Zhao down. I suppose the key thing is there's a machine that can thump against walls and a man's using it.
It's not a machine, is it? That's not a real thing. He's just bought something and used it as that.
Steve Coogan came round our house, the great Steve Coogan, and we had this sort of this chair that soothes a baby to sleep, right? It's like an electronic chair thing, like swaying chair. Now, it looked like a sort of a pod from a sort of a 70s sci-fi film.
Looks pretty futuristic.
Looks futuristic, but futuristic from the 70s, like HAL, a bit 2001. Retro-futurist. Coogan saw it, he goes, well, that looks like it could be turned into some sort of sex machine, that. And I goes, oh no, mate, I don't think so, it's for the baby. He goes, yeah, but you could just use the guts of it. The guts of it. Like you could turn it around like the A-Team, pull its innards out and turn it into some...
Scrap heap challenge for perverts.
Robot Wars for the Randy. It was a wonderful new...
I like that, though. That's quite partridgey.
It is quite partridgey.
Use the guts of it.
Just use the guts of it, yeah. That's just the way he sees the world, I suppose. It was delightful to have a moment in the man's company. I think I'm about to cough I'm going to choke, Matt, so I'd like you to tell us about the zombie apocalypse. Or any sort of news story.
I haven't actually got that over here. I've got an email here, though, about spiders. You know, you told me not to kill spiders, to put them outside.
Yes,
right?
be kind to them.
Well, the factor in that you're more cruel than me.
What about
because I've just heard spider murderer Matt tell a story, blah, blah, blah. Russell says put them outside. That will result in their death. House spiders have evolved to live indoors, and putting them outside will mean certain death, and garden spiders will die if you bring them inside. So and if you give them CPR...
I know, well, so there's strict types and genesis of spider.
I don't see how a garden spider would die if you put it inside. It's not like your house is that much warmer or different.
They're a bit picky, these spiders. I mean, I think all I've done is I've given it a new chance at life, taken it outside instead of battering it under a newspaper.
Evicted it into a deadly nightmare.
Cast it out of Eden, there to wander the earth and suffer for all time.
It's rental market.
He's never going to find another home.
I don't want to kill spiders. It's because my wife's scared of them, so I do it. You know.
Yeah.
It's just following orders.
There you go. Someone's going around the end of my street writing "Go Vegan" in chalk all over the floor. I'd like to know who it is and if they're addressing me directly.
He's running the marathon.
Who is this?
Vegan.
Well, I don't...
He's supporting her. Like Pippa.
Christ. I mean, oh, right, I see what you mean. It's simply a slogan to encourage a person of that name. But it struck me as somewhat alarming to find the words "Go Vegan."
Around your house in...
Yeah, it was a bit stranger things, you know, like all over the floor, a sort of a mural, "Go Vegan, Go Vegan," written on posts. I'm vegetarian, right? I'm thinking about going vegan.
What is vegan? What's the difference?
You don't have eggs no more, you don't have milk no more, you don't have honey, you can't wear a nice leather belt, but it is the future.
You couldn't have yoghurt and blueberries because it comes from a cow.
And that'll be the end of that, although they make...
What can you have for breakfast?
Blueberries.
Blueberries, yeah, you're just having blueberries now.
A pint of blueberries.
Just a simple pint of them, chew your way through the glass.
What else?
Well, it's hard, isn't it?
No, there's a lot of products.
Grains.
And also, there are sort of
Blueberries
perfectly good...
Yeah.
There's perfectly good products now that have replaced all those things in the world. Right, so let's not get bogged down in veganism, not for another second, although we all, I think, secretly accept that it is the future for all of us, because here a young man called Samilton says, Russ, according to WebMD, Matt's balls will continue to produce sperm, but they'll be reabsorbed by his body. I don't like the idea of that. You're fertilising...
I know that if I am going to get it done, right? After I get it done, I will, for a while, because this always happens to me, feel like... I can't sing in tune anymore. Everything, not that I can, but like, I'll just keep thinking...
This is to do with a vasectomy.
Yeah, I'm hoovering too much. I'm doing too much domestic jobs.
Yeah, you'll be like the Want to Break Free video.
Yeah.
You're being a pinny round your house, vacking yourself senseless.
I'm willing to sacrifice that.
You can't... Okay, Matt. I mean, if it's what you really want, people do seem to be seeing it as a sort of a very selfless and feminist move.
It is a bit, yeah.
And I suppose that alone we have to support. Oh, there's another person here saying that if you do it, a man called Poggy says, I'll also do it as well. People are, in a way, what you're creating is a vasectomy sensation.
Got to do it.
It's
Mind
like
you, we need
Pokemon
to-
Go.
Yeah.
People all over the world are snipping
aging
off their own
population.
pipes.
People like
That's why
Poggy.
G's
something
working
like
with the
that,
elderly.
children.
No.
Oh, they're called Poggy.
No, Poggy, that we need to nip that in the
Poggy, yeah.
bud. Poggy,
No, but like, there is another argument for having more children, everyone.
what do you mean? So we
Replace
create a
our
young
population,
workforce? I don't think we should. Do you know at the level of the individual, can we be trying to manage population? Should we be trying to create a super fit army of toiling, labouring worker people? I don't know if we should.
Hey? I thought you were saying we should.
I mean, for me, Matt, the management of populations, that's got to take place at quite a large scale. I mean, and probably we shouldn't be working out on the oof here on a radio
Is
station.
that why you're
As a-
practicing with spiders?
yeah, if we can manage the arachnid.
Oh yeah, what's going on with your
population.
bees? Talking about population
yeah.
control. I saw it. I went to your house and I saw your bee hive,
That's a hive, yeah.
and there was nothing in it yet.
I'm just working up to it. I don't want to sort of leap
It's a
into it.
beekeeper now.
Yeah,
And a
I
chicken
keep bees.
farmer.
yeah.
And have you seen he's got one of those weird dream catcher things in the trees. One of those naff things that you get in I don't know, hippie shops.
To clean it out every morning.
Just a dream catcher.
The gunge in that dream catcher when I wake up.
Hang on, can vegans have
Spiteful,
honey?
yeah.
Because that's from a bee, but that doesn't seem cruel.
Even using your own chicken's eggs is suspect because what you've done is we've nagged those chickens into having too many eggs. That's like they'd have 12 a year if they were normal.
Those eggs when he come round to mine the other week.
Did they?
Yeah, they were quite tasteless.
I felt personally offended by that attack on my own
I
bloody
think I've
eggs.
eaten those eggs and they were all right. How?
thought they were
Eggs are
tasteless.
eggs, aren't they?
Eggs, you know,
Eggs,
right,
mate,
they're too much. Right. I'm just crashing into
I'm
this.
Radio.
What are you going to do? You're just leaving?
going to go, yeah.
Where are you going?
Going to Wembley.
Are you going to watch Arsenal, Man City? Do you feel
I'm going to watch Man City now. So.
you're confident in the outcome?
Not particularly.
Because it's the,
Well,
it's
the outcome
Arsenal's
will be that
competition.
I will leave Wembley kind of a little bit drunk. I'm confident in that outcome.
They can't stop you doing that, can they, mate?
Not me doing that.
With inconsistent form, can't stop you.
Taking Sarah and the kids, so it should be quite
right.
the afternoon.
So this is it. You're just going to wander off out
I'm
of
going to
here.
walk out of here at past.
Well, I'm actually in this way. I'm glad because it might
You
give
can all
us.
calm down then and do the last half hour.
That's been shambolic.
It's been absolute chaos. Let's face the facts. Mics have been left up.
Matt announced that he was a massive fan of Arctic Monkeys, if anybody heard that.
Yes, very enthusiastic. Throughout the show, you can hear my dog gnawing at some hide on the floor. I mean, the whole thing is, it's been
Well, give us a shout if you need me to
catastrophic.
lower the tone at any point. I'm
that
only,
was good.
I'm only half an hour away.
It's lovely for what you lack in professionalism, you make up for in star power. Thank you very much for coming in here and
Absolute
elevating
pleasure.
us.
Great seeing you.
I have to say, it's been
So handsome, gave us a competition.
It's been great to listen to you guys on the radio again.
Thank you.
If we could just get rid of the adverts.
Right? Yeah, no, that's what's holding us
Used to
back,
be.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Why don't you put on a nice record to celebrate that? Oh no, adverts! The irony.
The sign goes up.
Up goes the sign. We cannot but obey the whiteboard. Thank you very much, Noel, for coming in here, gracing us with the gift of your presence and your charisma. Let's in honour of Noel Gallagher, listen to these short, audible films about commodities.
Enjoy new drama on BT TV. AMC's The Sun is exclusive to BT customers.